And full body paint's one of those things where maybe you realized or maybe you didn't. Maybe an RV just sort of rolls up into a campground. You're like, oh man, that's a good looking RV. Well, it may be because it had full body paint.
We're Marissa, Nathan, Hensley, and JJ. We sold our house in 2015 and moved into an RV full time to live a life of less junk, more journey. Less expenses, more experiences. Less overtime, more family time. Less commuting, more community. Life is a journey. Let go and get going.
Ooh, look at that morning light. Woo, why'd I do that? I'm trying out a new coffee mug, so it's like a one hand. I'm big on like texture, noises, but okay, probably wasn't that interesting. But so we were working our way south. We have gone from Michigan to Wisconsin to Illinois. Chicago traffic was fun. Now back in Indiana. So we're gonna show you guys something today that, at least me personally, I have never seen this on YouTube. It is something I've wondered about. It's one of those huge, like when you're buying an RV, whether it's used or whether it's new, it's like, is it worth it to do this? Well, today we're gonna ask some questions. We're gonna find out. We're gonna show you guys the process. And I'm pretty pumped because today we are checking out full body paint. So if you're not sure what full body paint is, so on an RV, typically it's not painted on, it's decaled on. So this is all decals on our open range. So this could actually be peeled off, which some people have done, or these are added after the fact. They do eventually fade, they do peel, they do all that kind of thing. Body paint, on the other hand, is smooth. It's glossy. It's got all kinds of advantages over the decals. We had full body paint on our Newmar motorhome. The Airstream, of course, did not have paint, but it didn't have decals either, so it was just like a clear coat over the aluminum kind of deal. Most of your RVs, this is what you're gonna have, just a regular body with decals. But if you're looking to buy an RV, especially a high-end RV, like full body paint is a really good option. Probably decals all the way around over here. I don't know the momentum, that momentum specifically, you know, it's decals. That's decals on that Montana, of course decals on our open range. These Newmars down here, I'm gonna guess all three of those are probably full body paint on those. And they look pretty sweet. And full body paint's one of those things where maybe you realized or maybe you didn't. Maybe an RV just sort of rolls up into a campground. You're like, oh man, that's a good looking RV. Well, it may be because it had full body paint. Full body paint. So Todd is going to be showing us a tour of precision painting, which I'm pretty pumped because I don't know much about this. And I know it's an option on a ton of RVs. So it's going to be neat to see RVs going from this to this. Now when it comes to full body paint, precision painting is doing like all kinds of different brands, mainly everybody in the area. I mean, you know, Jayco and Lux and Grand Design, and most of your brands have an option for the full body paint if that's something you want to do for your rig.
We do brand A, B, Z, Y, right? You know, it don't matter. But that's how they're gonna come in looking right there.
With the red door, they always have a red door?
No.
Because that's kind of cool. Does anybody ever request to keep the red door?
Yeah. Just so you kind of know how the flow is between the buildings. They show up. We park them there, and the night before we load them up.
I mean, one thing's that's standing out. This is an insane amount of manual labor.
It's just crazy, and not only that, but so it's a different job altogether because this is what people see as the outside of the unit. So you got to honestly take a lot of pride in what you do. And you can't just necessarily teach that, right? So you want to have something that's kind of instilled in you that, you know, you want to do your best.
Again, I know a lot of people painting in a house and maybe you got to take your, you know, your hinges off your doors,
right.
But like, it's so much.
But we try not to lose anything, you know what I mean? So not only do you got to take it apart, but it's got to go back together too. So You know?
No pressure.
So all these will go inside tonight for tomorrow's run.
Okay.
So that's what you're kind of seeing there. So we're just gonna poke our head in here. This is actually where it starts. They're gonna run 6 a day, so we gotta get 6 squeezed in here, and then I'll prep them, sand them, paper them off, everything. So like I say, there's just a lot of papering and stuff goes involved, a lot of tape, that kind of stuff.
So like they're prepping outside, getting the handles off, taping off a little bit, that kind of thing. And then this is sort of step 2. Comes in here and they start sanding it down, getting everything
But
sort of,
you've got the gist of it.
Again, you're thinking like cabinets and stuff like that. I mean, you're kind of just prepping the surface to get the paint on. So it's coming to this second.
This is the first coat of base, okay? So base is the main layer. This is what your paint looks like before so it was white or gray out there when we started. We sand the whole thing down, and then we put 1 coat of base on. 1 color, I should say. There's actually like 5 or 6 coats on here of paint. But what helps with the vinyl graphics is it tells us where to put it. Back in the old days, when we used to do this, we did this all by hand.
oh
And
wow.
you measured everything out by hand, and you hand laid everything, and then you would check from side to side to make sure it was right. I started in 1980, so I've been doing this for a while. So that's how we used to do it in the old days. This tells us where to put our paint. So where the yellow is actually where the base color is going to be. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So this actually, where you see a void, that's going to get a color in there. You can kind of look through their window, is putting the different colors on. They're going to start at 5 a.m. And they're going to have this unit done before the end of the day. And they're going to paint 5 different colors on that unit. So as soon as you're done painting your wall at home, you're going to take some tape and you're going to back tape it, and then you're going to paint another color. And you're going to back tape it, and you're going to paint another color. And you're going to back tape it.
We painted the inside of a couple RVs and thought that was bad.
Yeah.
But like, this is like a whole other level.
Yeah, so this is really cool. And then like, for instance, and you can't tell it, but where that white paper is, that you can see some burgundy going on there. So that would be a burgundy stripe they painted underneath of that. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
What are they doing? That might be a momentum. What are they doing? Are they painting?
This is their last coat, and so everything's been pre-masked on there. See that? We try to turn them basically in a 7-day turn time.
Okay.
From start to finish. That's a unit that's been just freshly painted and cleared and comes out of the bake site. What you're seeing in there, you notice how he was painting all black? Their unit's gonna look like this one, basically, when they're done.
No clear coat on that, but everything but the clear. Okay. Okay. So this is like the clear coat area here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Over here would be what we call our paint kitchen. So we mix all of our own paints on house. Basically, we can mix any color you want. These poor ladies got to mix hundreds and hundreds of gallons a day.
I know.
He's like, I'll mix some paint for you.
Look at this.
You like to paint? Look at all that paint.
Does that look like your arts and
Is
crafts?
this your dream job right here?
Wow.
So now let's say it went from start, it goes all the way through that building, it's been clear coated, and then it comes to here. So once it comes from here, what's kind of crazy is this whole thing gets sanded down. What? Yeah. Yeah, so this whole thing gets sanded, and then we buff it, we polish it. So run your hand on right here, feel that little lump.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, so they'll actually polish this out with a buffer, and then it brings the shine right back.
Okay. Oh, okay, okay.
But we actually sand the whole unit. Now this floor does get slippery, but you see how he's sanding that whole wall there?
Yeah, yeah.
And so he's actually sanding that with sandpaper. That's what you got here, which is 1500 grit. Run your hand on that 1500 grit.
Oh, yeah.
So this is a Velcro, so it sticks to that side, but it's that side is sanding, so
Really, really light sand.
yeah,
I mean,
that's right. And then, like I say, they'll hand There again, a lot of hand labor, a lot of intense there, but then they'll just buff everything with a buffer.
Now, why would you want to do the full body paint option? I mean, it's going to vary. I don't know the process for all the brands. I know a lot of them, it's like 10 to 15 grand. It could obviously be way more than that. Now, they do custom work. So if you came in, had a custom job, they would give you a custom quote to do that, which they've done as well. But like ultimately, why would you want to do full body paint? Well, it's not going to fade like decals would. It's not going to oxidize or corrode like maybe a gel coat would or something like that. It's going to last longer. Whether you resell it in 1 year, 5 years, maybe 10 years, like it's gonna look like it looks, as long as you just take care of it and maybe once a year, you know, wax and wash it and all that kind of thing. So it's gonna really stand up well to the elements of time. And if you're trying to get into state parks or, you know, a lot of places like we do, and you kind of do light scratches on the side of it, if it goes over a decal, like you pretty much got to redo the decal. But if at that point the decals have already faded and not matched up, like it's really tough to do repairs on something with decal. But just to be 100% honest, like the biggest perk, the biggest benefit, the main thing with the body paint is the wow factor. Like an RV, I try to think of how to explain this, but like 9 times out of 10, if I see an RV rolling in your mind, you're like, wow, that's a nice looking RV. Like it's almost always gonna have full body paint. There's just something about it with the wow factor. Man, we are pumped to be back. I think, of course, a big part of being back is the familiarity, family, friends. But for me personally, I think beyond that, because you know, I'm always asking myself as an introvert, because that's what introverts do, is we talk to ourselves within our heads like all the time. Like, I ask myself, beyond that, what is it about home base or getting back to Tennessee that like is just, I don't know, just feels right. And I think for us, for our pace, for the way we travel, and for my personality at least, I would say it's routine, which could possibly be the most boring answer I could have given. But so let me explain. But for me, like when we're moving fast. I'm talking like, seems like, I don't know what we're averaging, 3 to 5 nights. We're moving pretty fast when we're moving around in the RV. But we get back to our home base, we kind of sit still for a month, 4 months if COVID's going on. And it gives us a chance to have that familiarity. We know the weather, we know the surroundings, we know the neighbors, we know where the stores are. We can kind of create a routine as far as the kids, because we have family around to help, and I can have semi-normal like working hours. You know, we got fiber internet that we share with Marissa's mom, Donna. So we have fast internet, that's never an issue. We have full hookups, water, sewer, electric. And the big part of that too is being able to receive things in the mail, try out new things, explore new things. Marissa, she gets super nervous with new cooking gadgets.
I hear a lot of people talk about air fryers, how much they love air fryers. I have never used one, but Instant Pot came out with this air fryer lid. I'm really intimidated right now because I've never used an air.
Show me your intimidated face. Nailed it. So you're adding this.
So this is what it came.
And first of all, like, it's not that like what 1 out of 10 blow up or something like that. So it's not, you know, we're pretty good.
It's $80 for the lid. It's got this protective cover here that you can store or place on the cabinet here, and it came with this air fryer basket. Air fry?
Sure. Is that all the bacon we got?
I got a whole nother pack, but in case it goes sideways, I was trying that pack first. I'll lift this lid and hope I don't. I'm only gonna be able to make like 3 pieces of bacon.
This only does 3 pieces of bacon.
Well, I don't know what I'm doing.
$10 minutes for 4 pieces of bacon.
Yeah.
Over 2 minutes per piece of bacon.
If this goes well, I would love to do like some salmon in there, Brussels sprouts, broccoli. That's the thing in an RV, is finding out if something is worth your space. Does the convenience and the cook time, you know, take up, because this is a bulkier lid than I anticipated, but I didn't have to buy a whole nother air fryer unit.
That's good.
Can keep going, I guess, and get it crispier depending how crispy you want it.
No, that's pretty good.
I mean, I can't make as much at a time as I would like, but I do love that I'm not getting popping hot bacon grease all over. Our fire alarm did not go off, so that's a positive, and you're eating it as fast as I can cook it.
You say hi. Hi. And so we do love the air fryer. It's just awesome. And we're not, even though I know this weekend is, Cyber Monday, Black Friday. Is there a name for the whole weekend? Like,
I'm sure there is.
It gets tough for Christmas weekend. We are not technically selling air fryers. I'll put a link to it if you guys want that. I think it's been everything we expected it to be as far as that. But hopefully in higher demand than the air fryers is something you guys have been asking for. It's been like over a year since we released this. We have finally come out with another t-shirt design for 2020.
Woo!
Yes, so that's our new design that we've got that is out. We'll have it on our hoodie. We'll have it on our t-shirts. So for today, Sunday, if you're watching this Sunday it comes out, and then the Monday, Cyber Monday, we'll have 10% off on all of our merch. Anything you want to get within the merch with less junk, more journey.
It's just a fun new fresh looks for 2020. So
yes, I am super confident that the hoodies and the shirts, they are soft. Like
they're our favorite material.
We did not just like.
We've tried a bunch of materials.
We have tried a lot. We didn't just randomly pick out the material. I mean, we've been pretty methodical. I want it to be something that if we want to love to wear it, and we want you guys to love to wear it.
Shipping has been taking a little bit longer than usual this year because of the pandemic going on. If this is something that you need for Christmas or you're wanting to get for Christmas, you would definitely probably need to order that in the next day or two. Otherwise, it has been taking a little bit longer on the shipping, so you might have to be a little patient with that.
And last thing, which might have been the first thing that you wondered when we started this clip, is why are you two sitting in a house?
It's a good question.
Or the biggest RV known to man. Like, how did you get those ceilings in there?
We have had a lot go on in the last couple of weeks, so we definitely have some new adventures ahead that we will show next Sunday.
So if you want merch, just click on the link. We hope you guys had an awesome Thanksgiving. Looking forward to the holiday season. We'll see you guys next video. You love your blanket?
Me too.
Looks like a monster date.
I know, right?